for a very important date. Hey, everybody, it is Friday, September 24th. And it's funny because I said to John, I thought it was Monday. Anyways, we have a lot to cover today. So I want to get going sooner than later. So, hi, everybody. I want to get about, okay, there we go. We're getting the numbers up. Today, I'm very excited. We're going to watch a video by Judy Fredenburgh. She is an R&K educator, and she's going to talk about the QS machine quilting rulers that are great for long arms, domestic sit downs. I've got the straight one nailed. I can do this one in my sleep with my eyes closed, the whole bit. This I'm learning right along with you. I will tell you at the top of the video, there's some stuff that was already covered by Bree, but I watched that thing intently just to get it all in my mind. All right. So I got I showed this particular quilt Wednesday, and we couldn't find, nobody really, I couldn't tell you what or where. Well, a very kind woman from Australia got hold of me, who is sleeping right now, and she said it's Catherine Kerrs from Australia. The pattern is called Aves, Aves, and it's the block of the week, 45 weeks. So that's almost a year. This is just flippin' incredible. Aves, Aves, Catherine Kerr. So if you want to find it. And then Margot, has been with TQS since the beginning. Many of you are from, John's coming in.
It's probably Aves, like Ave Maria.
Oh, Ave is an Ave Maria. Ave Maria. Great. Can you use these rulers with the Sparrow 30 machine? I do not think so. I do not think so. It doesn't have the right kind of foot with it. Then Margot sent me this. This is a combination of paper piecing of Kafe and her hand dyes. Margot's work is just extraordinary, and I cut myself off because I heard John walking in. She's been with TQS since the beginning, and she has educated us. She keeps us inspired. She has shepherded some of our BOMs. I mean, Margot is just a very dear person. So, okay, then I got this from Sue. And this is pretty extraordinary. And this makes the point of why you do foundation paper piecing. All right. Then, because I think a lot of us, when we think about foundation paper piecing, we think of things like this Dogwood by Carlene. And that to me scares me, okay? But with the basics that we're learning, yay. And this is a pattern called Dogwood by Eileen Behring, Bahring. Okay, and then this one, there's another reason I wouldn't foundation paper piece. Love, love, love the quilt Nancy made, and it's Eileen Sullivan sand dollar pattern. But she said some of those pieces were 1/8 of an inch. So I think that's how it kind of starts getting the wrap that it has. You can take it as cray as you want, as small as you want, or you can keep it simple. And what we're doing here is keeping it simple. And then Joy sent us, talk about simple. I think she might have said she even used a fat quarter bundle or something like that. I mean, how cute. So here's the deal. I am so happy that you are posting things on the forum of your progress. I have gotten so many emails that I'm going to have to commission you to go to the forum to see blocks and things like that, because there's some amazing stuff in there. I thought I loaded up a block that somebody sent, that they've taken the square within it. I didn't, so I'm sorry, but it's in the forum. The square within a square, and then did a fun little block on the inside square. So that's why I like the forum. I am not going to be able to post everything that I'm getting an email now, and that was kind of a fear of mine. So I would really appreciate it if you really try and take advantage of the forum so that we can all see. And then I commission all of you to go and look, maybe, twice a week, and see what's going on in there. We have a category that's just for us right there. And of course, it's at thequiltshow.com. Also, I had to smile when I got this one from Joanne. This is the top of her quilt that is from Dee's Saturday sampler that she's doing, and it's the Flower Garden quilt. And she sent it because in the class, Dee has taken this fabulous pattern, again called the Flower Garden quilt, and made some changes to some blocks. And so if we go to the bottom row in the center, she serendipitously fell upon the square within a square block and put it in the center of that quilt. My flower garden. My flower garden. Okay. So this is what you need to know. I mean, I love this quilt. Love everything about it. We over ordered on the block, on the kits, and we have some, and they're on sale for 20% off. And what you have to know is that these videos like these are going to reside forever and ever for free. So if that quilt speaks to you like how it speaks to me, you might want to take advantage of the 20% off at the quilt show, okay? So, oh, also, Linda, yay. I was at upstate New York yesterday. I telecommuted there and came back. And it was the Rochester Guild. And they tried something really exciting. You know how we've all been doing Zoom meetings? Well, they did theirs partially in person so people could come. I was on a big old screen. And then also for people who didn't want to meet in person, they could do it at home. And they had never done it before. And between them trying to figure out the technology and me trying to figure out what the heck is wrong with my computer, we pulled it out. We did it. We did it. So I'm so glad you were there, Linda. Okay. And thanks for sharing the stuff. So let's go take a look at the video that Judy made. I learned a whole lot from this. Let's take a look.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. My name's Judy Fredenburgh, and I am so excited to be here today to talk to you about Quilters Select Precision Machine Quilting Rulers. And these are driven by our long armors. So a long armor quilter uses machine rulers. Well, those are hard to use on a regular sewing machine. So Alex Anderson, our co-founder of Quilters Select products, wanted us to be able to use the same type of rulers that we have in her regular ruler line, which if you haven't seen them before, they come like this. They have their numbers left to right. They have a little hole for hanging up all the time. The back has the grip so it doesn't slide. And we have our directionals on this. But she wanted these same features on our, I'm going to say long arm rulers, but on our precision machine rulers so that we could do quilting ruler work on our sewing machine. So we have, the first one was our straight one. All right, this is the first one that we got, and that's a 2x8. Now there is a new 3x12 coming, but it's not due until October. So keep your eye out for that one. That one's coming up, all right? And then the next ones we have are the clamshells. Now there are 4 clamshells here. 1, 2, 3. Oh, there's the other one. 4, all right? And all of these are different. There's nothing repeat. So for example, this one right here, this is the 6-inch clam on the top, but on the bottom, it has the 1-inch. And then if you look here, this is the 5-inch clam. And then at the bottom, this is your 2.5. And then we have our 4-inch, which has 2 of them on one. And then it has the 2-inch, 2-inch at the bottom. And then we have this one that is our 3-inch disc at the top here, and then 1.5 at the bottom. Now, I'm going to give you some tips on doing that, but first let me tell you how you should prep. When you're using your rulers, you really don't want to have to take safety pins out of the way. So for this technique, I fuse my quilt tops or quilt squares, whatever you want to do, whether it's a tote or whatever, to the fusible, the heat and stay fusible fleece. So that's been fused. And then to put the backing on, I use the free fuse, and that's the sprinkle powder that you sprinkle it on, and you just kind of base to hold the backing to it. All right. This way, it will give you a quilt sandwich like this that you don't have to pin. And that's really good because you really don't want that on your rulers. You don't want to get it so it scratches the bottom of your rulers, but you also don't want to have to stop and take it out. So basing, it's really good. The other thing that you're going to want to have is a marking pin of sorts, and I'm going to be using the self-erase marker, which is really good when you're doing ruler work, because if you make a mistake, you can erase it and draw the right line. It's important to have your lines right. Now, the other thing I'm going to show you, and I'll show you once we get to the machine because I already have it on there, is you have to have a ruler foot. Now, if you were to look at a regular foot, and I'm looking for mine right now, let me find it here. Oh, here we go. This will work. Okay, so the regular ruler rotary cutter foot, regular rotary cutter foot. Okay, this is one we use. We put on our fabric, we cut our fabric. If you see how thick that is, that works great with a rotary blade. But when you're doing machine ruler work, that's not going to work. You're going to want to use a ruler that's made for that. Can you see the thickness difference? All right, it's huge. That's why you have to have a ruler foot, because if you use a regular sewing foot, it's either going to go under or on top, and your needle's going to break. All right, so you've got to use a ruler foot. And I'll show it to you when I switch the camera. The other thing that's different in the rulers is, can you see this one only has just this little hole right here for hanging? This one has that, but it also has these two big holes. These are so you can move the ruler as you use it, all right? Because when it's on the fabric, remember, it's going to grip. So I'll show you this too, all right? With that, I think I'll go ahead and flip the camera over. And let's go ahead and do this. And there we go. All right. So what I have on here, this is the ruler foot. So when you look at this foot, see how high that is? It's got a ridge on it. Not that I can put my finger on it, that's normal. But what I wanted you to see was how thick this foot is. That way, when the foot is down, the ruler foot goes right next to it, okay? All right, so let's show you one of the first things we can do. So for the ruler work, I'm also set this up for free motion because I'm going to be feeding this through myself. And I'm just going to use the straight one at first. So you can do echoing. All right, you can have fun with that. You can do triangle trace. These are all different kinds of things you can do, but I wanted to show you how this works. So the other thing is, when you put this down, if you wanted a 1/4 inch away from the edge of your fabric, your ruler foot, the needle is in the center of the foot. Now you have to test because there's many different types out there, or many different machine brands. Make sure that the outside edge of the foot to the needle, if that's a 1/4 inch, that means you want that foot edge to be right there, right next to it. All right, you want that right close to that. Okay, so that's what you want with that when you're sewing, because that will be a 1/4 inch away. So I'm just going to start from my center fabric going out. Starting from the edge is kind of hard. Now, if you're doing a full-size quilt, you would normally start in the middle, but I'm just going to start from my fabric side. And all I did was turn this around. So the ruler can go on left or right. It doesn't matter. Okay, so if you're left or right-handed, it's not going to matter. And you're just going to sink your needle. Now, here's another tip that I have figured this out. Before you put your ruler up here, if your foot raises like this, put the foot down and slide your ruler up to it. Make sure it's right where you want it. All right. And then you're just going to sink a few stitches and stitch. Now, if I were to run out, let's say I really wanted to go farther, that's when I use the holes and I slide it forward. But again, before I put it next to the foot, I put the foot down and put it right up next to the foot and then continue on. Okay, so that's one way to do it, is just to take it and do that. Now to do the next line, I'm just going to line my ruler foot right up next to the stitch line I've already done. And again, put my foot down, slide it up to the ruler, take a few stitches, and continue on. Go all the way down. And cut my thread. There we go. Boy, you gotta try this with a camera. This is fun. All right, anyhow, so that's how you can do straight. And then if you were turning, you just go round and round. Now, another one you can do is kind of an all over type quilting. And so I'm going to use the 2-inch, and you can always tell what they are because when you look, here's my 2. Oop, I have it upside down. There we go. So this is the 2. So I'm going to use the 2-inch scallops, and this is on the 4-inch larger one. So this is the ruler I'm going to use right now. So to do these, what you're doing is you need some place to start. So you find your place to start, and I already did. And then I'm going to turn this around because I want to go the other way now. I want to go that way. Okay, I'm going to do mine a little bit different. But what I'm going to line up is right along the line here, because where this curve and this straight line is, that's where the needle's going to meet, right here in the center there. So it's going to meet right there on the edge of that fabric. So I'm going to line up my ruler just like that. Again, put the foot down first, and then I'm going to start sewing. Now, because, can you see how I can move this easy? It's because it's got a hold of the fabric, the needle does. I mean, the ruler does it. It's got the grip on the back. Oops, so my foot lifted a bit, so I'll put that back down. Go. Then we're going to come around, come to the end, come back around. Can you see how that meets right there in the center? And I'm just going to come around. Now, when you're doing, oops, see, that's why I don't put my ruler foot down. I put my foot down before I get into that. Okay. I'm just going to keep going. Now, when you get to the other end and you're ready to go, you just pick it up. Again, put your foot down, line up your ruler, and continue on. Like that. All right, great fun, easy to do. Ooh, that's kind of blurry. Let's try it again. Let's cut that. All right. Oops, didn't cut my thread. Okay, let's show you another one. So you just repeat that on and on. Now let's show you this. So this one was a fun little one. This is using all 4 of the rulers. And then this one, just use the 1. And this is why I use the marking pen. All right. So on the first one, what I would do is I would take the little one, the 3-inch, and I'm grabbing that ruler here, and I'll put it right here to match. This one, and when you have more than 3 pieces and you're only going to use 1, I always like using the middle just because it's easier to line up. So what I'm doing is I'm lining up my marks here in the corner. Don't always have to go all the way down. I'm just going to use this right here. And let's go ahead, sink my foot, get close. There we go. And go ahead and start on this one. And so what I would do on each corner is sew that around. Okay. Then I grab the next one, the 4-inch. This one only has 2. So again, whichever one works the best for you. I like to be able to have this extra to hang on to. And I just rest my fingers right over this. Oh, oops, sorry, didn't mean to move the camera. Hold my fingers right over this. So put the foot down and then just take a few stitches to sink it. And follow it around. couple stitches more to tie it off, and then cut. And then I'm going to pick up the 5 and do the same thing. Now, I would be doing each corner, not just the one corner, when I'm doing this, all right? Because then I don't have to keep changing the rulers. And so I always do the one. So I'm going to bring this one. Oops. And my 5. Oops, come up. There we go. And then I would continue on with my 6 and just keep repeating that from corner to corner. And that's what makes this really cool little design right here. Now, the other thing I would do if I were you is I would use threads that either blend in or match. I'm just using color so you can see it on the screen. Now, to do something like this, where you're doing a circle, you really, really, really need to mark your lines so you can switch and turn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ruler here, and I'm just going to mark the center. And this can be wherever you want this, all right, wherever you want a centerpiece. And so I'm going to take my self-erased pen here. See if you can see that. There we go. And I'm going to make my marks. Just like this. There we go. All right, because I want to be able to see my marks. And what I'm going to do a circle, let me just go ahead and grab this 4. I think that'll be big enough. All right. So to do the circle, what I'm doing is I'm going to line up just like this. There's my center. So I'm going to line it up on this one. Doesn't matter if I line it here or if I line it here, as long as I line it up on one of these lines. Okay. So I have it lined up perfect. I'm going to sink my foot and I put my ruler foot in. And this is where you can test. You can put your needle down. Make sure it's right there on that line. If you're off a little bit, like I am, just move your ruler a little bit. There we go. I'm right on the line. And make sure your lines match. Take a few stitches. You don't want to take too many because then you'll see the connection. Okay? Make sure my foot's down. There we go. And we're going to stitch. But look how this grips my fabric for me. And stop. And then I'm going to turn this because I am going to continue around to complete my circle. So I'm going to put my foot down. Oh yeah, and if you have your needle down so that it always stops down on the fabric, that really makes this turning easier. So I'm going to line up my foot right against my ruler, line the line up. There we go. And continue on. And come right around. And before I let go, I'm going to take a look and see if I needed to go like a stitch. And it looks like maybe 1 stitch. So I'm just going to do 1 stitch and then cut my thread. So that's how you make circles, to connect them. It's very easy. It's a lot of fun to do that. You could take the smaller ones and you could put the smaller one inside. So just like we were playing with just a little while ago, but if I do this, I have my straight line right here and this line crossing over the middle of my clamshell right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start on this line again. Put your foot down. All right. It's kind of fun to say. Put your foot down. And I'm going to just stitch. There we go. Around here. And then stop. Put the foot down again. And you can line it right back up. There we go. And you can see my threads right here. Well, maybe you can. Let's turn it sideways. That's what's so cool. Look, I can turn this in any direction and stitch. So I already know that circle match. So this circle, I know that my stitch point right here needs to be where all these lines meet right there. So as long as I have that, I should be good to come around. Whoops. All right, there we go. And then if you really want to get creative, you can put another take the smallest circle right here, do the smallest one with the small clamshell, the 1.5, and you could turn this into an olive. All right, just put that little half circle in there. All right, but I think you've got the idea, and that's what I wanted you to know. Oh, also, before I forget, when you're doing your sashing, you can take your clamshells and your clamshells, like this one, you can run it all the way down like this. So this is a lot of fun. You ready? Got it lined up. Here we go. Oops, too far up. See where my needle is? It's right here, and there's my line. I want this down here. I have it too far up. So always check before you take your first stitch where it's going to be. And I am set, and here we go. And it takes a while. You just got to get used to it. Trust your needle. Trust your machine. Got to grip on my fabric. It's not moving. Stop. Now, I could have continued on, but my reach is out of the way, so I'm stopping here, and I'm just going to pick up my ruler. I can start it in the middle. I can start it on the end. It's wherever you prefer to start. Again, I like to have a little extra down here to hang on to. Get my fingers down here and get a hold of it. And go. And sometimes wearing gloves will help you too. But I'm just going to go ahead and go around. There we go. And you come all the way down to the end. And you can come off the edge here. So it's hard to see, but I've just done this all the way down, and then I can come back and do the other way. So let me come back. I got a little sample to show you. Here we go. All right, so this little one right here that I did, this is just a little table runner. You might be able to see some of the quilting on it. There's straight lines, there's circles. I did this with the 80 weight thread, so it's kind of hard to see, but when you look at the back, there we go. Now you can see all the quilting that was done with it. So it's a lot of fun to play with these. If you are brand new to using these rulers, my suggestion is use a fabric panel, because then you can hide anything on a fabric panel, or use shapes like this where you got straight lines to base off. So like the straight lines here for this one, or the half circle, because I could baste it here inside this triangle for the half circle. And then down here in the sashing, it has the runs just like I did just now, where it just goes straight down the sashing. So anyhow, I hope you enjoy ruler work. It's a lot of fun, and I'm so glad we can do it on our sewing machines now. It doesn't have to always be on the long arm. All right, everybody, take care. See you next time.
My head is exploding. I got a ton of notes here, John. We're good. A ton of notes. My head is exploding. I have, like I said, I've done a ton with these rulers, the straight ones. These are 1/4 inch thick. Dennis asked that. And I'm starting to wrap my brain around these rulers. I'm very excited. You can get them at thequiltshow.com in the store. We carry them there. So I made notes. I'll tell you what I learned. And I don't know that I instinctually do this, is to drop the foot before I start doing my thing. Very, very good tip. I'm going to be more aware of that. The rulers, Deborah, Oh, no, Sue, the rulers have the same stuff on the back that the rotary cutting rulers have, so they do not slip. I found that I wore a glove on one hand and then just used this on the other hand, well, the straight one, and it worked as well as one of those gloves, that grab onto your fabric. So, oh, and speaking of sticky back, somebody wrote me, I forgot to write down your name. I'm so sorry. On your add a quarter ruler, if it's slipping on you when we're doing foundation paper piecing, you might want to put some sandpaper dots on the back of it. Um, Jerry, turn off the hover mode, she said. I did not know that. Thank you. If your machine has a hover mode, turn it off. And that was Jerry. And yes, Shirley, it is free motion quilting, but I'm going to tell you something. On my domestic, my Bernina 765, I learned from Gene Wells way back that you do not have to drop your feed dogs. In many cases, you can leave your feed dogs up and it just kind of gives you a little bit of bumper bowling, just a little bit. So there are many times I forget to do this. And then Helen thought this was going to be a Q20 demo. No, because this you can do on any machine except I think the Sparrow, because I'm 99.9 confident they do not have a ruler foot on it. So so it's any ruler. Chantel, you have got eagle eyes. You said, why isn't she pulling up the bobbin thread? I always pull up my bobbin thread so you don't get knots on the back. The reason Judy didn't was she didn't want to waste time doing that. That would have added another 5 minutes onto the video. So yes, when you're machine quilting, I always pull up the bobbin thread. That's how I do it. Take a couple little stitches and then go, and then I can just trim off the thread at the top. When I'm done with, say, the line, I'll take a couple little stitches, pull up the bobbin thread, and trim, and that keeps the back all nicey, nicey, nicey. Debbie, you said that you're having a hard time to register on the site. Please contact us. We have people that can help you do that because I'm not sure exactly what's happening to you. But yeah, yeah, usually it's pretty flawless, but yes, it is technology. Okay, I have not used these yet. Okay, I have not used them. Well, no, that one I love. You're my boyfriend. And she gave me a lot of really great ideas, and I'm not as afraid of it. So I'm learning with you. Yes, Deborah, you can call. Absolutely. There's a contact us, and you'll get Brandy or Melissa. I'm not sure who, but they'll be able to help you out. So, oh, here we go. Also, Deborah, if you could contact John, he can help you. There's his email right there. So on Monday, we're going to go on to the pineapple block. I'm going to answer a lot of questions about foundation paper piecing that have been coming in. So we'll do that Monday. I'm not quite sure what's happening Wednesday, but Friday is the start of my AAQ retreat. Well, actually, it starts Thursday. But the truth of it is, people are now coming Monday and staying the whole week. And so I will not be here next Friday. I've got to be at retreat, but I really look forward to playing on Monday with you. And then on Wednesday, I don't know if we'll do show. I don't know what we're going to do. I'm trying to give you time to do these blocks. And the pineapple one, the next one that we're doing, is super easy, but it is laborious. And I'm just telling you, it is a laborious block to do. So I don't want you to freak out like you have to get it done. I just want to thank you for sharing this time with me. I try and bring you decent content so that we can learn. And I know in the beginning, my glasses are straight. Yes, they are, Marty. They're straight. I know during the pandemic, it was started for one reason. It helped me, it helped you. A lot of us were alone, so this was the reach out. And what's happened now is I think this has really grown into kind of a profound experience for quilters. Well, not profound because it's a profound experience for quilters because we are connecting in real time live, and that is awesome. And if you are like in Australia and sound asleep, you can watch after, but I appreciate you giving me your time, and we're just going to grow together worldwide as a quilting community. how can that not be better than awesome? So Deborah, my classes, these are all free. They're all free. And if you're interested in joining the quiltshow.com, you go there and you become a member. It's $49 for a year. And we have so many fabulous programs on there. A new one rolls out every other week. I think we have almost up to 400 shows, and we're endeavoring to bring you the best and the newest in all of that in quilt making today from around the world. So anyways, this has been great. Thank you, Judy. You are an excellent educator. And I saw one guy was from Wisconsin. Judy's from Wisconsin. And whenever I have questions, I always call Judy or Shanae. They're my go-to. These women know what they're doing, and they are in the R&K family, which encompasses, of course, Quilters Select. So, okie dokie dokie, I would say it's time to go. I will see you Monday, and we are going to do pineapples. Have a good one.